Hello there. So EVOCATI 3.24.2 came out last night. It was only up for 3 hours. I only got to do about an hour because it was a 40 gig patch and it took 2 hours to download because the speeds just vary so much. You can have like your full internet speed and then could be down to like 6 kilobytes a second kind of thing. I don't know what's with that patcher, how they patch the game, but it took 2 hours to download a 40 gigabyte patch. That's not great. But anyway, this is EVOCATI, so it's under NDA. I can't show any images, I can't show any footage, I can just talk about my experience. Obviously I can show footage that they have already shown on like ISC or any images that CIG have physically posted because they would not be under NDA. But let's go ahead and I'll talk about what I saw. Obviously, it's early access stuff. It's not completely polished. There's still a lot of work to be done on it, so you've got to take that with a pinch of salt. It can be visually rough, it could be buggy, etc. But anyway, let's jump in. So first things first is the character creator. Basically everything you saw in this ISC, they added, like the new hairs, tattoos, piercings. There was nothing extra that I saw that we didn't see in ISC. The face piercings, there's like maybe half a dozen different studs that you can put on different parts of your face, your mouth, your nose, ears, eyebrows, etc. I'm not really into piercings, so I didn't really spend that much time messing with that. It's prefixed, so you can't like move them to different places on the mouth, etc. It's where they have placed them, and then it's just different variations of studs and colours. The tattoos, it's pretty much every tattoo they showed in the ISC. Some of them you can change the color hue, and there's a slider for fading them in and out. So as you get older, tattoos kind of fade, so you can make them look like they've been on you for a longer period of time. Fortunately, you can't change the size or move them about on your face. The only negative thing I would say about that is you wear the default noob undersuit in the character creation, and it covers up half your neck, so some of the tattoos you only get to see half of them in the character creation. I think maybe they should switch that undersuit to some clothing, like a t-shirt and some trousers or something, because you can't really see some of the tattoos that well. The hairstyles, more good, and they're actually really good. They're really nice. I like them. The physics on them, you can whip your hair back and forth. I'm not gonna lie, they look really cool. Anything they can add to the game to make people have unique characters, so you don't see the same default character everywhere, and especially when they're going to add that stuff to the NPCs, more variety, great. There isn't much there that they can improve until this patch goes live. It was pretty great, wasn't buggy or glitchy other than the undersuit thing I just mentioned. Right, so Arena Commander got a new update. They got rid of all the flash stuff, not all of it, but majority of it. It looks really cool. It looks very modern, very usable. Everything felt responsive. There's a couple little bugs with the way it previews ships and characters, but other than that, no major issues. Yeah, it was pretty great. I don't really have any complaints about the Arena Commander new menu UI screen, other than not having like a preview of the map that you selected. So unless you know the map off by heart, when you select like Jericho, etc., you don't get like a preview picture. Just go, oh, okay, that's Jericho. Oh, okay, that's the Orson racetrack, etc. I'd be my only criticism about that. But I used Arena Commander to go into offline mode so I could check out the ships and their new MFDs. So let's go ahead and talk about the MFDs. Once again, it's pretty much everything you saw in the ISC. The MFD screens are very responsive. When you click them, they're easy to read. I didn't feel like I was like some features, like when you're like the current system, sometimes you can really feel like you're fighting the UI. Whereas this, I didn't feel like I was fighting. It was very responsive, very clicky, easy to read. As I said, I don't really have any criticisms about them. The only criticism I have about the MFDs is the lack of information about your ship components. Basically, in live, you could bring up your item list so you can see all the ship components that you have installed, and if they're damaged, etc. You don't have that information currently. It might be because it's early EVOCATI. If you go and damage the components, you can see a red square on the overview of your ship. We know you have like an overview of your ship, and you have your shield facings, and then if like the wings red, that screen. I damaged one of my, I think it was a quantum drive, it might have been a power plant. I just like shot at it and chucked a couple grenades in it. And when I went back to the screen, there was a little red box there indicating that that component was damaged. I have no idea what that component is, other than it just shows a little red box. There was a new MFD for missiles, I noticed. It showed what missiles you selected, how many missiles you currently have active. There was like a load time of when it loading the bombs, etc., or the missiles, sorry, the bombs. Every time you tried to go into bomb mode on the A1, it crashed the client. So I'm not sure about that. My only criticism about the missile stuff is that you have to look down to an MFD. There's no information on the HUD right in front of you, unless it's on the... So you can project information onto your visor. Now, it didn't work on all ships. Like some ships I can get to the visor to show information like my ship status and my target status. Not all. I couldn't get it to work on everywhere, like turrets, etc. Turrets MFDs were broken, sadly. When you did the animation getting in the seat, where the seat would rise to where the turret is, you could see the screen was on, but when you got to the actual finishing animation state, the screen would go off. Obviously, it's a bug. When firing weapons in different power modes, so if I select the lowest, I put like 1 power into guns, my capacity would be smaller, so I might only get 10 shots. But if it has like 10 slots for power and I put all my power into the 10, my capacity would go up to like 100. I'm using made up numbers, but that's how the power bar works. The more power you put into your power of weapons, the higher the capacity you have. The shields and the engines are pretty much the same as live. The more power you have in the shields, the faster the shields recharge. The more power you have the engines, the faster the engines recharge. You can, from that MFD, you can turn off your coolers and your radar and your life support. So you could mess around with your power settings. An interesting thing about the power settings is you can alter your power states on any MFD that's in the ship. So your co-pilot, your people in remote turrets or support chairs, anything that has a screen. For example, on the Carrack, if you go into the drone room and get in those seats, I can mess with the power. If I go up to the big map room, what's the word for it? Stellar cartography. There's a screen right in front of the big hologram. You can use that. So the person in stellar cartography can basically turn off your shields by moving all the power off it. So that's cool that people can do that in different places of the ships. That could be a little trolly. If somebody boards your ship, they could technically shut your power down, maybe. I don't know if they will add ways to restrict access. Maybe only people in the party can have access to those terminals or something. The scanning wasn't working. I could scan a ship, but I wouldn't get the information that you used to get on the right, and the MFD didn't do anything. I don't think the scanning part is quite in yet. What else? Not all layouts on the HUD are the same. It seems to be kind of tied to where a monitor is, like an MFD. So you have the holographic projector of your speed, etc., like you see on this stuff. So a Drake one, the screens could be all down the bottom, so all that information is going to be above those screens, kind of holographically projected. But if all your screens are at the top, it'd be projected up there. So the layout of where that information is different per ship. So that's an interesting thing. That can be, I guess if you're used to flying the same ships, that'd be fine. But sometimes you might get looking around for that information might be a bit disorientating or something. I don't know. There looks to be some new animations for holding stuff, like your hands doing weird stuff. I didn't get to experience myself, but I did see somebody was holding a med pen, and their hand was doing new animations while holding that pen, like this, like the AFK default thing you get when you see a player in the verse. Sometimes character will just look around or look at the mobiGlas. It's like those kind of default idle animations. What else? Yeah, so stuff to character customization, new MFDs, new arena commander. There's probably loads of other stuff. I just didn't get a chance to experience it. If you have any questions of stuff you want me to possibly test next time, leave it in the comments. I will try and check them out. If there's a lot of good questions, and I can maybe make another video about those questions, your guys' feedback, stuff you want me to test. Overall, oh yeah, there was also fuses, like those fuses being put in on the Connie that I noticed, and on the Carrack. Also a lot of places where they put the fuses, there was also a fire extinguisher. You couldn't interact with that fire extinguisher. Like I couldn't grab it or do anything with it. I don't know if that's maybe because I was in Arena Commander mode. I don't think so. That'd be a reason. But yep. So it looks like they're engineering. They're working their way through ships, getting them all ready for engineering. When we get that, that's probably going to be a 4.0 thing. MFDs. There was some issues with MFDs where there's not enough screens on some of them. For example, the Pulse hover bike has no MFD screens. It just had like a holographic projection giving information, but you can't alter any of that because there's no MFD screen to go in and edit, like turn on the information on your helmet display, etc. Some ships don't have a lot of MFDs, like the Fury only has 2, so it can be difficult to get the information that I need, like for example how many shots I have left in my guns, because it's no longer on the ship HUD. It'd be on the MFD or the helmet HUD, but I couldn't get it to show on the helmet HUD on the Fury. I might have just had problems getting it to work. But overall, it's a cool patch. I'm looking forward for seeing more stuff added to it. It definitely feels like an improvement over the current stuff we have. Anyway, guys, have a good one. Thumbs up, thumbs down, leave a comment, all that lovely stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.